Hello, welcome back to another FPL video. I hope everybody is doing well. We're sort of coming to the end of Game Week 17 and already looking ahead to FPL Game Week 18. Specifically today, looking at captaincy choices, such an important decision. I know a lot of you will be free hitting, so it's about getting the right player to captain out of the players you're bringing in. If you're new around here, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button if you do enjoy the video, obviously, and let's just get straight on into this one. So the first option we're looking at, and potentially going to be the most captained kind of player for this game, is Bruno Fernandes, coming in at 11.2 million, playing away to Bruyne. We do know that Bruno Fernandes' record away from home is absolutely unbelievable, only blanking once in the whole time he's been at Manchester United. That game was actually against Sheffield, so maybe it bodes that he doesn't play as well against the smaller teams. I think it was more of an anomaly because he was just a bit tired and the other players were picking up the returns. He's got an expected goals penalty of 0.57 and an expected assist penalty of 0.43, meaning that he's got an expected return of literally one per game. So if you want someone with consistency to captain, Bruno Fernandes is your guy and has been the guy throughout this season. He scored 11 goals and got 7 assists, obviously on penalties for Manchester United, which they do seem to just keep on picking up. So I think that there's not really much more to say other than Bruno Fernandes is a great option, one that I'm definitely considering, one that I most likely will. There's one other player that I'm kind of thinking about in time of it's a little bit of a 50-50, maybe a 60-40 in favour of Bruno Fernandes, but yeah, Bruno Fernandes, a great option for FPL Game Week 18 captaincy. The next potential captaincy option for Game Week 18 is Harry Kane, penalty of 0.6 and expected assist penalty of 0.29. He's got the most assists so far in the Premier League with 11, sitting on 10 goals as well. It's a little bit surprising. Maybe it's the way sort of he gets those assists to Son. It's some incredible passes. I don't really know how they come up with the stats, but yeah, Harry Kane coming in with a total expected sort of goal return of 0.89, so he's almost expected a return per game. Another option for Spurs, you could go for Son. Kane x Son has been so good this season. I'm a little bit more myself comfortable with captain Kane just because he's got the penalties and just in general I think he's more likely to do something in any given game than Son. That being said, Son does actually have a higher total points than Harry Kane and is more likely to haul than Kane is. So that being said, both of them are great options. Harry Kane looks like a good one. I'm a little bit swayed more towards Bruno Fernandes than Harry Kane though, because Kane are playing against Aston Villa, who have been so good defensively this season. That being said, Manchester United did just put 2 past Aston Villa, one of them a little bit of a controversial penalty. It shows that the bigger side can definitely score goals against them, so Kane is definitely a pretty good option. Now next on the list is Kevin De Bruyne, coming in at 11.6 million, playing against the Brighton side, who have kind of been a bit up and down in terms of defence this season. They have a very good kind of defensive statistics, however they've not actually been keeping too many clean sheets and been conceding quite a few goals, as to many FPL managers' dismay who have got Brighton defenders in there. We see Kevin De Bruyne coming in with an expected goals penalty of 0.51 and expected assist penalty of 0.46. Although he's not really been returning too well this season, I'm actually filming this during the Chelsea game and he's got a goal and he's got an assist. So those expected returns per game, which is 0.97, is finally coming good, as we haven't really seen Kevin De Bruyne kick on and be as good of an FPL asset as he was last season. His sort of expected returns wise is basically the same as Bruno Fernandes. So if that can kind of show into actual goals and assists like we're potentially starting to see with that Chelsea game, then he could be a very good option going forward. Scored 3 goals and got 8 assists, so he's done okay so far this season. I still think he's the best player in the league. However, the smaller sides that do play against Manchester City and Liverpool, we have seen this season, they like to really sit back and they're like, okay Manchester City, okay Liverpool, you've got to try and break us down here. Potentially we'll see Brighton play like this. I know that Potter likes his style of play, but the way that teams go there is they like to sit back. So I almost think it actually benefits City and De Bruyne if they play against a team like Chelsea, who are more willing to come out and play football against them so that then they can get in behind. Whereas a team like Brighton will probably just be sitting back and saying City, like, you know what, come at us. And they've been struggling to break teams down this season, which is why we've seen a kind of a lot of 1-2-0s to Manchester City, which is why I'm kind of leaning towards captaining Bruno Fernandes rather than Kevin De Bruyne. Kevin De Bruyne is the other player who I was kind of thinking it's a 50-50, 60-40. I'm leaning towards Bruno Fernandes, but Kevin Kevin De Bruyne is a fantastic option to potentially captain for FPL Game Week 18. Now the next two captaincy options that I'm going to be discussing are a bit more differential, a little bit more punty. This is kind of like, you know, if you're a little bit behind in the mini leagues, you want to gain some ground, or you just want to have a little bit of fun going into FPL Game Week 18, I'm going to discuss two differential captaincy punt options. So the first one is Alexander Lacazette, coming in at 8.2 million. You know, I don't think too many people are going to have him in their teams, and he's actually scored 27 points in the last 3 games, returning in every single one of them, scoring a brace in the last game against West Brom. He looks like a very good option playing against the Crystal Palace side, who've been pretty poor defensively so far this season. They've only kept 2 clean sheets, so I think it's definitely a game that Lacazette can score in. He's got an expected goals per 90 of 0.66, which is actually higher than Harry Kane, so it shows that he's getting the opportunities, and I've seen quite a few blunders so far from Lacazette this season, so potentially he's turning a corner right now and is picking up some confidence and starting to really show that with the goals that he is scoring. He's got an expected assist per 90 of 0.07, and it shows with the amount of assists he's got this season, sitting at 0. He scored 7 goals in 14 games, so it is a goal every other game, so don't expect maybe massive returns, but we can definitely expect that he could potentially score in this game against a Palace side who have not been too good. So if you want a differential captaincy pick, then Lacazette could definitely be your guy. The next kind of differential captaincy pick is Callum Wilson, playing against a Sheffield United side who have been woeful so far this season, the worst start that a Premier League side has had to a campaign ever. And I mean, having watched the Crystal Palace versus Sheffield United side, you can really see it. All that kind of defensive solidarity that they had last season has just completely gone. Even the first few minutes of the game, they looked so poor. They looked very, very lethargic. They looked slow, and it's definitely something that Newcastle and Callum Wilson can exploit. Coming in at 6.5 million, I think a lot of people will be bringing him in their free hit teams, but very few of them will probably be captaining him. So definitely a differential kind of captaincy point, and a player who definitely has high potential of scoring in this game. We see his expected goals per 90 is 0.67, the highest out of any player that we've looked at so far, surprisingly, when you've got the likes of Lacazette, the likes of Harry Kane in there as well, and expected assist per 90 of 0.15. So he's definitely kind of kicking it up with the big boys, and it showed with the returns he's got so far this season. He scored 8 goals and assisted 3. Obviously the penalty taken for Newcastle, so that's always pretty helpful, and obviously playing against a Sheffield United side who have been poor so far this season. So definitely a player I'd consider having in your team, but more of a differential punt for the captaincy option. So this has been a quick little look at FPL Game Week 18 and some potential captaincy options that we have in there. Hope you have enjoyed this video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're new around here. Hit the like button if you did enjoy the video, and I will catch you in the next one. See ya.